Have you ever wondered how you learned your native language? Think about it. You were just a baby with no idea what was going on while your parents talked around you. Then you grew up, and suddenly you could speak your own language. They didn't teach you any grammar rules, they didn't give you a big book to read, or hand you a pen and ask you to write. In reality, they made you acquire the language. You acquired it through listening. Yes, they spoke in front of you and repeated words, and you started picking them up. Then you began trying to pronounce them, right? That is exactly what you should do if you want to learn any language. So, in this video, I'm going to show you the right way to learn any language. I'll shorten the path for you and make language learning easier and faster. I'll give you a general idea of how language works, and we'll talk about the common problems and mistakes that most learners make and how to avoid them. I'll also share tips and tricks that will make learning a language much easier and much faster. But before we begin, you first need to answer this question. Why do you want to learn a language? It may seem like a simple question, but it's extremely important because this question is what will determine your path. When you have a clear goal and a strong reason behind it, staying consistent becomes much easier. And whenever you feel tired or lose motivation, you'll remember that reason. And your desire to continue will come back. Because the question why builds the goal builds desire, and desire keeps you going until you finally reach it. If you truly love something, you'll eventually be able to do it. So think carefully about this question. Do you want to learn a language for traveling, for studying, for self-improvement, or just for fun? Maybe you want to watch movies and TV shows without subtitles, or understand the content you enjoy, or even talk with people from different countries. Whatever your reason is, hold on to it tightly. And now let's move on to the most important question. How does language actually work? Language is made up of 4 main skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Listening and reading are your input, while speaking and writing are your output. And the important thing is, these skills aren't separate from each other. Each one supports and strengthens the others over time. You're probably wondering, how? Well, if you listen a lot, you'll naturally become better at speaking because your brain gets used to the sounds, sentence patterns, and the way the language is actually used. And if you read a lot, your writing improves almost automatically because you absorb more vocabulary and start noticing how ideas and sentences are structured. But here's the mistake most language learners make. They focus on the output before building enough input. They want to speak fluently without listening enough. They want to write well without reading enough. It's like trying to pour water from an empty cup. The more quality input you give your brain, the easier and more natural your output becomes. So, when you're learning a language, don't just ask, how can I speak fluently? Ask yourself first, how much am I listening? How much am I reading? Because the quality of what goes into your mind determines the quality of what comes out later. And that leads us to the next part, the most common mistakes language learners make, and how to avoid them. The first mistake is giving up because results seem slow. At the beginning, you'll feel like you're not making progress, and that's completely normal. Learning a language is like going to the gym. You won't see results in one day, but with time, you'll be surprised by how much you improve. The second mistake is neglecting listening. Many people read and write, but never listen. Then when they hear a real native speaker, they understand nothing. Listening is extremely important because it trains your ear to the language. The third mistake, and probably the most common one among learners, is learning words without context. You memorize 100 words, then forget them 2 days later. Why? Because isolated words are boring. Learn words through sentences, stories, and conversations. That's how your brain remembers them more easily. The fourth mistake is translating literally from your native language. Every language has its own way of thinking. If you translate everything word for word, your sentences will sound strange. Learn the meaning, not just the translation of words. The fifth mistake is being afraid of making mistakes. Many people want to speak perfectly from day one, so they stay silent. But the truth is, mistakes are exactly what help you improve faster. If you're afraid of making mistakes, you'll never learn. The sixth mistake is focusing only on grammar. Some people spend months memorizing grammar rules. Yet they still can't make a simple sentence. Language is a skill, not a grammar test. Listen more, read more, and speak more. And finally, the biggest mistake of all, inconsistency. Don't study for one day, then disappear for a whole week. A language needs daily exposure, even if it's only 15 minutes a day. A little every day is better than long hours once in a while. And remember, every fluent speaker today was once a beginner who didn't even know how to say hello. Just keep going. And don't be afraid of making mistakes. And now, let's move on to the final part. Tips and tricks that will make learning a language much easier and way more enjoyable. Okay, first tip, enter the language through something you already love. Or in other words, consume content you enjoy in the language you want to learn. If you love sports, watch sports videos in that language. If you enjoy drawing, follow artists who speak it. Love cooking, watch recipes, into books, movies, games, or even cartoons? Perfect. Hey, use that to your advantage. The more you connect the language to something you genuinely enjoy, the closer it becomes to your heart. And when you enjoy the process, you learn much faster without even noticing. Second, the shadowing technique. Find a video in your target language, preferably with subtitles in the same language. Listen carefully to the speaker, pause the video, and repeat right after them. But don't just repeat the words. Copy the whole style, the tone, the emotion, the speed, even the expressions. Because language isn't just words. It's also a way of feeling and expressing yourself. And that's what will make you sound natural when speaking, instead of like a robot memorizing stiff sentences. Third, don't start with rare or complicated words. Instead, learn the most common expressions and sentences first, especially the ones you personally use every day. For example, I'm hungry. Where are you? I don't understand. What are you doing? Because the more often you use a word, the faster it sticks in your mind. Fourth, the sticky notes technique. Write the names of objects on small notes and place them around your room. For example, write the word closet in the new language and stick it on your closet, put door on the door, and mirror on the mirror. Over time, your brain will start connecting objects directly to the new language without translating. And that's incredibly powerful for language acquisition. Fifth, here's a really smart trick. When you watch a movie or video in your target language, first use an app that turns the speech into text. Copy the transcript, then paste it into ChatGPT or Gemini and ask it to give you the easiest and most important 50 words or expressions from the text. Learn the words in context. Listen to their pronunciation. Try saying them yourself, then watch the video. That way, you won't watch the video feeling completely lost. You'll watch it as someone who actually understands part of what they're hearing. And finally, remember that learning a language is not a quick race. It's a long journey full of discoveries and experiences. There will be days when you feel like you're making no progress, and other days when you suddenly realize you understood a full sentence without translation or spoke with more confidence than before. And that's when you'll realize that all those small efforts were quietly building your level step by step. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are not proof of failure. They're proof that you're trying, and that's what matters most. Enjoy the journey. Speak even if your level is still simple. Listen a lot and be patient with yourself. With time, the language that once seemed impossible will become a natural part of you. And if you made it this far, write in the comments. What language do you dream of learning?